Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here joined with Chris Featherman, or Christian Featherman, and he runs his own channel called Gringo Mode On, and he's joining us for today because Inti is at his parents' house. He's going to actually be going shopping for us to fix up my studio. And yeah, today's an exciting show. We've got a lot to talk about with Bitcoin, with my token. Oh, you must stick around. This is very, very important. Well, I know I'm pushing a token here, but you have to stick around for that. And also, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, what's going on with Bitcoin and people buying up Bitcoin, and maybe it's a safe haven asset. We're going to talk about that in a little while. And also, we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin obituaries. It's just been updated, right? Because Bitcoin has just died. Again. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us on Twitch, right? I know we have been, not been adding more value on Twitch. We're going to be working on it. We just need to figure out what's going on with Wirecast and figure out how to broadcast exactly to all the different places. And once we do that, we will get back to making sure that Twitch is up and running. All right. So with that said, Christian has a few words to say before we get on to the TA.
Before continuing with the program, please remember this is not financial advice. Do your own research before putting your hard-earned money on the market.
Awesome, Chris. You look smashingly Chilean. Come on, Thai, man. I wonder, can we say that on the...
Yeah, it might get bleeped out. Be careful.
Okay. All right, so let's head over to the charts right now. So, as you know, Bitcoin is bounced off of the 10,000 level again. Wow, I need to turn down the bleeps from people joining us on following us on what's it called, Twitch. So hang on, I'm going to turn down the volume. There we go, off. All right. So as you can see, Bitcoin is trying to break here, these can up here at the 10,400 approximately level. If it does that, it'll W out, and that means we can break up to the $11,100 area to retest the resistance. Now the support that now has turned into resistance. So that's going to be interesting. I like how it's like the 50% level from where we are. Basically a GAN study from where we are now. Going down to the lower time frames, looking for a trade. I'm sorry, it's too late for a trade. I have to say, if you try to buy up here, you're not playing from a position of strength, and that the location, which is where we are right now, which is to $10,277. I'm going to hide the OBV since we're not going to use that today. And so if you want to buy this, unfortunately, you're going to have to use the fibs, right? And maybe you can take what I have. I have a trading plan for this whenever there's a breakout, but you're not in the breakout, so actually, so that trading plan's not going to work. So what you have to do, right, is pray that this thing comes back for one last test. I'm going to hide the rest of the indicators. And you're going to have to pray that this thing comes back for one last test to the 61.8. And you buy that, because that is a position of strength. Remember, I always said on Chris from MM Crypto's video, always play from a position of strength and don't get wrecked. That's where you're going to find your position of strength, is at the 61.8 and not up here. So we haven't broken out yet, so that's just the way it is. Now, unfortunately, we're above with the 4 hours. We're above the 13 EMA, so this is a very bullish stance. So that means we're probably not going to come back to the 61.8 on this move up here so far? Probably not. Probably not. There is a Davo here, so let's just see if where the Davo actually. That's a decent Davo. And let's see where my Davo trading plan would have taken this to. Should yeah, look at that. Davo gets up to the 2 to 1, which is right about here. But I do believe this Davo is it a 3 to 1? Oh yeah, it's a 3 to 1. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's a 3 to 1. Thank God. Because if it was a 2 to 1 ratio Davo, then that would mean it would come back in our faces and come back to our entry level. But because it's a 3 to 1, and I'm not going to explain exactly how the Davo works because this is not that kind of show. But I will explain for all the Pandora's Wallet subscribers. So if you're interested in that, we will do a special show on how to do the Davo trades going forward. So this is a 3 to 1. So right up to the $11,000 area is where you would expect to take profits on this particular trade. You can tell that. Notice that the Davo also enters approximately at the 61.8. So yeah, this is a solid Davo. So let's just say we dip down for a second at the 61.8, and that would probably be the best place to put in a trade. That's where you would enter, right? And stop loss it at what's it called, $9,846 or somewhere around there. Okay. Right. Let's move on to Ethereum. Right. Ethereum. Oof. Yes. Beautiful. Golf clap on Ethereum. So we can see that Ethereum has broken above its previous resistance level here. Well, actually, it's actually a breakout zone, not a resistance level. So it broke out, and we've created a nice W, created multiple Ws. We're rechecking that as seeing if that resistance becomes support. And yes, it is. It looks like it so far. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the candles. Jesus. And so the price action, we have to stay above the $361 level to say yes, we're going to the $400 level. Now it did bounce off of the previous support, which had in turn resistance. Right, so now we have the resistance level. If we go back to the dailies, let's see here, you can see where it is, right? You can see that's where it had to hold the line at the 371, and it bounced right off of that, like with fear and conviction. So now we're gonna have to bounce off of this level, which is the 361, in order to make sure that we can break through the 371 and stay above it. And if we get above if we get a daily close above the 13 EMA, it's good. Yeah. We're gonna head back up to this green support line, which has been a long-term overhead support for Ethereum, right? Let's just show you that completely. So there you can see. It's been overhead support, that green line, for a very long time. I mean, we've already bounced off of the underbelly support trend line, and yeah, it's gonna be good if we get above. I mean, it's not the end all and be all, because it could be like but still, it's always a positive if we're above the 13 EMA. All right. That said, let's get on to the first news article of today, and I think it should be the Bitcoin, right? You're wasting your time, right? You're absolutely wasting your time with Bitcoin. It's dead again for the 82nd time, and you need to just walk away. Just walk away. And this person is saying, right, he's like, Warren Buffett's not going to touch this. It's these kind of ladder assets that, have greater chances to to be in a bubble territory because they don't generate cash flow to support their valuations. Right. I can think of something that's been around for about, I can think of two assets that's been around for 5,000 years that we've used to trade, and they never generated cash flow. They never automatic, you sat them on your desk and then all of a sudden they'd split into two or gave you 10% more and stuff like that. They never did that. And those assets are called gold and silver. Right? When you buy a gold coin, right, and you sit it on your desk, do you think it's going to generate money for you? Right? Chris, can you answer that question? Is that going to generate money for you? If you buy a gold coin and you sit it on your desk, is it just sitting there? Is it going to actually make more gold coins? Is it going to make more gold coins? No.
I wish it would.
Yeah, I wish so. I wish it would too. But and so gold, right? It doesn't generate cash flow, but yet it keeps going up, right? And actually, if we go on to Twitter, right? And I did a like on one of these, right? And I'm like, I had to ask, right? Did the gold coin increase in value or did the dollar decrease in value? Right? And it's the obvious answer is the dollar, right, is lowering in value. There's absolutely, the gold coin hasn't changed. It's still a gold coin. It's still one gold coin. Somebody still has to go and dig and find that gold coin. They have to spend a lot of work to get that gold coin and then trade it for something else, right? Whilst the amount of work to create a dollar, well, all I need is to sign on a piece of paper is IOU, right? And that's it. I created a dollar. That's all I need to do to create a dollar. Sign on a dotted line. And so, I really think that the people who think Bitcoin needs to generate value, generate a revenue stream, have lost their minds. Bitcoin is money, and money doesn't need to generate a more revenue, right? Investments do. All right. With that said, let me go on to the top of my Twitter page. If you haven't subscribed to my tweets or following me on my Twitter page, please head over there at twitter.com/DaVinciJ15 and hit the follow button. And this tweet got a lot of engagement, and I was quite surprised. It's basically talking about the fact that I own Bitcoins since 9.5 years ago, and I've seen the ups and downs. I've been watching this thing, Bitcoin, go from $32 and all the way down to $2, and I suffered because I bought it even at the $32 level, right? And that was, I remember, June of 2011, and it was rough, right? But I still believed, and people would laugh at me and say, "Well, did you sell at the top?" No, I didn't sell at the top. And I was a rookie back then. I didn't know how to trade, and I didn't know when markets had topped out. I didn't learn about that, but over time I learned how to figure that out. But I knew that this would one day be used as money, and this is what we're speculating. We are speculating, right? That's what gives Bitcoin value today. We are speculating that Bitcoin will be used as money one day. And there's going to be a lot of people here saying, "Oh well, it's the transaction fees are so high. Oh my God." Yeah, but you know what? It's being used in Africa because people realize that, hey, I need to have international transactions, right? I need to have my wealth being able to transfer it anywhere without the banks telling me no, without the banks actually trying to steal it, without the government saying, hey, you know what, I want a bigger cut of that action, right? So that is why Bitcoin is going to succeed. Now, one person said, prove it. And I'm like, really, dude, right? And I have this link here. It's it's an unlisted video that I did asking people to give me some Bitcoins, right? I was willing to even pay them in silver, right? Way back when, right? Way back, right? And check that out. And it even has the dates on there. So I think I proved it. What do you think, Chris?
Safe to say.
Yeah.
It's been proven.
All right. With that said, right? Max Sky. It looks like Bitcoin's taking over the Silicon Valley, and I love that orange sky. I know it's fires caused by fires, but still beautiful, excellent, radical. Now let's go on to another topic of today, which is the fact that Bitcoin. And I'm trying to find actually a tweet that I was looking at, but I think I lost it here. Millennials, I think that was nice. Oh, this was a good one. I like this one. I'm gonna like that one, right? Because you know what, the boomers, right? They had it easy. They had jobs. They had low cost real estate. They had it all, right? And so they built up a lot of wealth, right? And you know they even have like the government, giving them retirement money, right? That was worth a lot at the time, but now it's not that much worth that much. But it was like the dollar is king. Now, today, people who, the millennials, if they want it easy, all they have to do is buy Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies and hold and hodl, period. And they will, all the boomer wealth will be transferred to them. All right. Well, Bitcoin's correlation with gold hits record high, right? This is quite interesting topic here. We see that it's actually now at a record 0.5 correlation, right? Sometimes it goes negative, right? Before Bitcoin is like, honestly, right? When you see this up and down, and you could effectively say the correlation is zero, because if you cancel out each up and down movements, right? The correlation ends up being zero, because if you were to add all the positives, add all the negatives, it would end up being zero. Now, because we've created this new high, right, in this correlations, this gets interesting now, because maybe going forward, it might get fully correlated with gold. And it would make sense, because you know what, Bitcoin is a better gold. It's gold 2.0. It allows you to transfer wealth instantly to anywhere, and not nobody has to know that you even have it. You could actually exit a country, right, that's being abusive to you, right, and say, look, man, I just got my shirt on and I don't got any money in my pockets. I just want to go visit my family, right, that's in XYZ country. You just let me out. And somebody says, okay, fine, go. Meanwhile, you're multi-billionaire and they have no clue. Right? On the other side, you've taken all your wealth and you can start all over again. Just beautiful, right? And so if you're interested in getting gold, right? I know gold's heavy, that's why, you can't really have a lot of gold in physical form. So you're going to need to have some other way to store your gold or trade with gold into gold, because you know what? In the next coming bull run, I'm not going back to the dollars. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it. And so I'm going to be using Volturo, because they have they store their gold in Swiss vaults. And I think that's the most trusted place where I'm willing to allow somebody to be a custodian of my gold. I'm not going to trust the United States, obviously. I'm not going to trust London, obviously, right? But Switzerland has always been, neutral and fair and honest with people with their money. So I think I'm going to go with the Swiss. And if you're interested in that, remember, this is part of there is what's it called? A referral link. Sorry, referral link is the word that I'm looking for. And if you use that referral link, not only you support the channel, but you support also buyers of the Davinci J15 token, right? So I'm gonna possibly can't say I will. I can't say I will because for legal reasons, for all kinds of other things. But anyways, I'm planning, right, to pay out as a gift dividends based on how much I earn, not only on the YouTube, based on YouTube or Facebook ads, or because I will be broadcasting to Facebook in the future, to merge, whether I'm selling merge, whether I'm doing anything with regards to Davinci J15, except Pandora's wallet. Sorry, people. You will get you may get a percentage of all that revenue, and the advantage of that is that, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you what the advantage is. I'm going to let somebody else tell you what the advantage is, and that person is Ivan Ante.
No doubt that when you have this sushi token, you become a cheerleader for that. Uniswap, they have no token. So that's why it's important to have a token. You gotta have a token so you have your warriors ready to protect their bags. When they protect their bags, they protect you. So you need a Twitter army. Uniswap doesn't have a Twitter army. They don't have the Link Marines or synthetic Spartans. So, many people are joking, hey, why should you have a token? Your project doesn't need a token. Bro, everyone needs a token. I want community. I want people to be passionate about what we're doing. So if you don't have a token, you're shooting yourself in the foot very severely. Because someone else will do whatever you're doing, and they will add the token, and then they will have the passionate community that you don't have. So community is key, guys. Crypto is all about community.
Yes, crypto is all about community. So I really see with my token that thank you, Ivan. I couldn't have said it best, right? I really see with my token, right. Once you see that the revenue's coming, right, people will be like, yeah, I'm going to use Davinci's referrals links, sharing my referrals links, for supporting this token, for keeping the price higher, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that, as increase the value of this token as well. You will also have access to special access to these live streams. I'm going to be converting these live streams only to token holders. So any amount of token holders. So it doesn't matter how much you own, right? And wow, you'll be able to see these live streams and support and really be part of the community as we see this this Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies explode in the next 12 to 16 months going forward, because we're going to see some epic explosions in the value of crypto coming very soon. All right, so how am I doing on time? It's 8:24. All right, that's good. All right, so with that said, one more thing. Since I was talking about Pandora's wallet, we're having a 50% off sale. If you missed the 90% off sale, sorry about that. But get your 50% off on Pandora's wallet, and for a special limited time only, right? I'm going to take 10% of what everybody has purchased in Bitcoin, priced in Bitcoins. I'm going to take, so let's just say I've earned 20 Bitcoins from all the time that I've earned. People have purchased Pandora's, and I've earned from Pandora's wallet. I'm going to take the 10% of that, which is 2 Bitcoins, and buy on the open market my what's it called, token. Now I may do that. Now I have to be careful with that because of legal reasons. I may do that, right? Take those tokens and spread them out to every single person. Everybody will get 10% of that, of how much they've spent in Bitcoin. Of my tokens, so that's another way. So you can get a whole new tokens if you purchased only until the end of this month, and that's it. That's going away. So if you've got the 90% off, right? Well, you're not going to get as many tokens as somebody who's paying 50% off, because they'll get more tokens than somebody who got 90% off. So don't feel bad if you're only getting 50% off. You're going to actually get more in the end. All right, so that said, let's head off. I guess we should head off to the question and answers, but before I do that, I want to thank all the the Twitch followers. Thank you very much for being patient with us, understanding that we haven't done as much engagement with Twitch as we'd like to, but we are broadcasting to Twitch, and thank you for joining the Twitch community. We will be supporting you very, very soon. We just have to get over some of the issues that we have. All right, Chris, I hope you have some questions for us to answer today.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is your first day on the job there.
Yeah. Well, filling in for Inti.
Yeah.
People actually were concerned that Inti was fired.
No, he has not been fired.
Not yet.
Well, he is my son-in-law, so it's going to be a little bit hard to get rid of him.
Yeah, we do have some questions here. One person was very insistent. The new moniker should be Crypto Renaissance Man.
Crypto Renaissance Man. I like it. It's a little bit long, don't you think?
Yeah, it's wordy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question.
All right, next question. I guess we'll go back to the technical stuff. So one person asked here, so when Bitcoin drops, it's best to transfer Bitcoins into other assets and rebuy at the bottom?
Correct. When Bitcoin is at the top, right, we're looking to get out of Bitcoin near the top. Why is that? Because this Bitcoin is going to transform the world. It will, but just not yet. It's too early, right? And so in the next bubble, right, that will be the sell point, and that will be the key issue, key thing that will get people buying Bitcoin, right? Is that, hey, this is transformative technology. It's going to be the revolution. It's the new way that we're going, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's true. It's just we're still far away from that, unfortunately, right? We're pretty much where the internet was in 1999, basically, at this point, when it comes to Bitcoin. And it's not ready for your grandma to go, oh, I can get my email by just clicking here on my iPad and go and send an email. Oh, that's just great. Not there yet. Bitcoin is nowhere near where email is today, okay? It's so far off that's why we're going to go into a bubble and then collapse back down. But it's not going to be the end, right? You're going to see Bitcoin from the bottom start to slowly climb higher and higher, going forward when we do hit the peak going forward. But we need some sort of exit strategy for Bitcoin, and an exit strategy into dollars is a non-starter for me. I'm not doing it. And same with any kind of fiat currency. So I'm going to be going to gold. All right, next question.
Sure. Before we continue, just want to remind people, there's a few comments here, please hit the like button and also put comments. As many comments in the actual video itself, not just the chat feed. That's going to increase engagement so that Davinci can place really well on YouTube. So yeah, if you can, leave a comment in the video. The next question. Electronium.
Electronium.
Sounds like an X-Men or something. But
Exactly.
A lot of people write Electronium. I know, Davinci, I know you're dying to tell us about Electronium.
Electronium. What the hell is I see it. It's an ETN. I think of Davinci. What do you think of Electronium? You know what? I'm gonna have to Google that because I have no idea what the heck that is. If it's an ETN, an ETN is basically electronic transfer. It's like an ETF, but it works basically like a company holding a bunch of bitcoins for you, and you're not. There's no guarantee that they're going to they're gonna actually hold those bitcoins. They can spend it in any way they want. Electronium. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna bring the screen up. Oh, okay. So it's just somebody, pushing some sort of cryptocurrency. A cryptocurrency with huge, genuine usage via real world ecosystem. Yes, they all have like real genuine. Okay, so it's just some guy who's pushing his bags, basically, right? That's what it is. His bags of some sort of cryptocurrency that works exactly like Bitcoin. That's supposed to be revolutionary. Yucky, dude. All right, next question.
So next one, how high do you think gold can go along with silver?
Gold doesn't have a whole lot of upside, right? I think the maximum it can go, assuming that the Federal Reserve doesn't take us to hyperinflation, maximum it goes to is like $20,000. But depends, right, on a lot of things, right? If they want to. If they wanted to back the dollar up with gold, right, and assume that they do have the gold in the vaults in the the Fort Knox, assuming that's true, which doubtful. If that's true, they can back it up. They can back up with the gold that they actually have, and not the gold that they can steal, meaning that's gold in New York that belongs to other countries. If they just did it with that gold, we're talking about a $50,000 gold, right, in order to back up the U.S. dollar with what the gold that they already have, right? Since there's gold outside of the United States beyond what they have, that's not likely. I mean, the $50,000 is not the even though it's a high number. It's just a way to say, okay, well, you know what? Every single ounce of gold that's out there, not just every single ounce of gold is worth $50,000, and it's just a way so that they ensure that they can hold the system together at 50,000. That's what they need to do. I don't think they'll do it. I really don't. It's just too high and it's too much. It's too destructive at that point to the dollar. So, as for silver, honestly, I really believe it's just going to pass gold, right? The price of gold, whatever it is, it's going to be 1-to-1 on gold and probably a little bit higher. Why is that? Well, we use silver for everything, and it's always been. It's also been money for the longest, just as long as gold has been money. In 14 different languages, the words silver and money are the same. So in Spanish here, ¿Tienes plata? ¿Weón? ¿Tienes plata, weón? Right? And when you translate plata, right, it translates into two meanings, which is money and silver, right? So there you go. All right, next question.
So people are asking, what is Tenent?
Tenent. What is Tenent? Tenent. I have no idea what that is. No clue. Gonna have to research it. So I'm not gonna bring it up. So because we've already pushed one crap coin today. Let's not do another one. Next question.
Okay. So one person asked to discuss the euro, how 1.6 trillion was printed relatively recently.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now. They had this meeting. They were planning to do, one up on the Americans, right? They want to do like 1.6 trillion to hand out to all their rich buddies and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, the euro, everybody's doing it. It's not just Americans, right? So this is why even here in Chile, I mean, even I got a bailout. Did you know that? I got over 100K bailout from the government. So. It's not just the U.S. and Europe. It's everywhere. And yeah, you can see that prices are going to rise. Your food prices are going to rise. Your your what's it called? Your prices of cost of living is going to rise. Energy costs are going to rise. Everything is going to rise in the next 16 months for sure. Guaranteed, you're going to see prices extremely higher in the future. One other thing I want to point out, since we're talking about that, is that I follow this Ice Age farmer guy, right? And I want to show you his videos. And you need to follow this kid, right? It's kind of scary, right? But you need to follow him and take action, basically. That's all it is, right? Don't be scared of what he's saying. Just take action, right? That's a little bit hard to do. I know you're like, oh my God, this is kind of scary. And I'm just trying to find his videos here. But you know what? All you have to do is go, okay, verify, and then take action, right? Here it is, Ice Age Farmer. Now, he's talking about what's going on with the farming, with the food and stuff like that. So, yeah, you're like with the seeds and stuff like that. What they're doing with the seeds and how they're trying to. Right now in the United States, you can no longer buy seeds on Amazon. You can no longer buy seeds unless they're regulated now. And it's like, yeah, that's scary. And then they're just closing down meat plants. There's been a lot of explosions of different food production areas. It's like, what the hell's going on here? And even like what's it called? New Zealand. They lost a large ship, a thing that was bigger than a super tanker, full of cattle, in a storm. It sank. Oh my God! And you're like, do you know how hard it is to sink a ship like that with all its computer systems? It can sail around storms by itself. And I'm like, right. But anyways, off topic. Check that out, right? And let's head over back to our regular scheduled program. Next question. Now that I panicked everybody.
Let's see. Next question we got. Why don't other blockchains use Bitcoin for publishing snapshot hashes to piggyback on Bitcoin's network security?
I know. That's what I was thinking about doing for my cryptocurrency that was going to be built into Pandora's wallet. And I was like, why not? I mean, like you get all the security if you just store the snapshots in the Bitcoin. Now, there is a caveat. Now I understand. Actually, you know what? As I was developing up the idea, the reason why they don't do it, the reason why they feel that they shouldn't do it, is because you have to keep the whole Bitcoin blockchain as well in your code, right? So, for example, you could either run the Bitcoin blockchain alongside of your cryptocurrency, or you have to connect to the network and bring down the whole blockchain yourself. But you don't have to bring down the whole blockchain. You could just bring down the blockchain from the point that your currency exists and go forward. And that's it, right? Some might say, well, wait a second, you don't have the right hash. You don't know if the rest of the hashes are correct. Yeah, okay, whatever, dude. You know what? Once you could always just go back onto the blockchain and find another. You could always just check it yourself, right? By connecting to a blockchain, go through and scanning it yourself, right? It'll take a while, but you could do it, right? And so it's not a big deal. But the only problem is then you'll be downloading 1 megabyte blocks immediately on the get-go from your cryptocurrency. So there's the trade-off there of using Bitcoin to snapshot your data into the most secure network on planet. You have to add a megabyte of every 10 minutes to your blockchain, basically, to keep it ensure that your blockchain is secure. And that's it. That's right. All right, next question.
So I think someone clarified the Tether question. It's thoughts on Tether's lawsuit for printing billions into creation while buying up other assets.
I'm surprised the United States government hasn't raided that place and taken them down for counterfeiting, because that's clearly what they're doing, right? So if I were to create a piece of paper and say $1 on it, right, and you look at it and go, D, man, that's not a dollar. Yeah, well, you're gonna treat it like a dollar, right? And I'm gonna create these things, and it's my printout of the dollar. It doesn't look like a dollar. Looks like anything. It doesn't look anything like a dollar, right? But I called it a dollar, and I started trading with it. That's still counted as a counterfeit, right? And so they'll come down on you just because somebody else has already done this. His name was something not. I can't remember his name now, but he's already gone to jail for it, right? Because what he did was he backed up. He created his own dollar, and he backed up the U.S. dollar, his own dollar, with silver and gold. And because of that, because the government doesn't like that, because that's considered counterfeiting, he went to jail. So, why is Tether still around? I have no freaking idea. Somebody there must be paying off a lot of people a lot of money in order to keep them still around. That's my only explanation, right? For that, right? It's called the Liberty Dollar, right? And let me bring it up, right? Liberty Dollar is Liberty Dollar is the person who created it, right? Here, let me just show you. Right, and it existed for a while, and I was thinking, yeah, maybe this will work, right? But then he went to jail. The person who created this, he's in jail right now. He's gone, right? Nothing you can do about that. Kind of sad, right? It was a good idea. You got these paper notes backed up by real gold and silver and real gold silver coins. Yeah, so you can't do that. You can't do that without the government coming after you, right? And I don't understand why the government hasn't shut down the Tether yet. Somebody important is using it, yeah, they either are using it, and they are controlling the government and preventing the government from actually attacking. That's all I can say. All right, next question.
All right, a question here from Sebastian. Sebastian, can you expand your thoughts about what you said yesterday regarding Bitcoin being cracked?
Bitcoin being cracked. Okay. My thoughts on Bitcoin being cracked, basically cracked. So let's just say that Bitcoin, what's it called? The encryption, which is the public key, private key encryption. Let me just bring it up. Let's see here. The encryption protocol gets cracked. For example, how you have your own public key, you have your own private key. The public key is basically not your address. What you don't realize is, yes and no, your address is a public key, but it's a hash of a public key. And what that is basically that a one-way encryption of your public key, meaning that no one could take the address and determine what your public key is, right? You have to broadcast your public key onto the network once you do a transaction with that particular address. So in order to crack Bitcoin, not only do you have to crack the public key private key encryption, but also the hash, right? In order to gain access to people's funds. So you have to do two encryptions in one, basically, which makes it very difficult. So most likely somebody will just only crack the public key private key encryption, right? And when you do that, right, what happens is it doesn't mean that that you can automatically get access to everybody's currencies instantly. No. Usually, right, when these encryptions are broken, it just means that, with a specific computing power, after 3 months or 6 months or a year or a very relatively short amount of time, right, they can figure out what your private key is, right, using your public key. That's basically what the crack of Bitcoin would look like going forward. And so it would give us lots of time to change Bitcoin and change the encryption, because it's designed, it's understood that would happen, right? When Satoshi built Bitcoin, he understood that was going to happen, right? And so part of the protocol is that the encryption can change, right? The encryption method can change. And so, if that happens, right, we would just use another method of encryption. And in fact, we've already planned to use a different method of encryption going forward called Schnorr signatures. Schnorr is a different way of doing the same kind of encryption, but allows you to add public keys together to and signatures to add public keys and signatures together to hide, to obfuscate what is going on. So, for example, I could sign a transaction to going to somebody. Chris can sign a transaction going to someone, and then we can add both our transactions together, and it looks like that one person signed it and went to two different people. So it was one person having both keys and sending the money out to two different people. So what that means is there's plausible deniability, right? You can't prove that he sent it to where I was going to send the money to, and you can't prove that I sent it to where he sent the money to. There's no way to prove that once you use Schnorr signatures. So that's coming to Bitcoin, and we're going to see a lot of strange transactions when that happens, because you're going to see a whole transaction that looks like that looks like one person sent a whole bunch of money to millions of people, but really it could have been millions of people sending to millions of people. You wouldn't know, right? So it will effectively encrypt transactions going on, or create plausible deniability, right? So making it impossible to what's it called? Point to a particular address and say, with that address that has bitcoins, if you use those bitcoins over there, that's bad. Those bitcoins are bad. You can't use those. That will be completely stopped in the future. So the government won't be able to do that in the future. So it's going to be interesting. All right, next question.
There's a question here from Sartosti Brokamoto. Maybe that should be your nickname. Maybe you should try to. If gold has proved itself a store of value for 5,000 years, how many years do you expect Bitcoin to be a store of value?
I would say it just needs pretty much just 25 years, one generation, right? Because after one generation, there will be still a percentage of the population that's just no way, like Peter Schiff, no way Bitcoin, but they'd just be the outliers, right? The idiots basically at that point. Because by 25 years, I think this whole technology will be built out. Maybe it'll take 35 years, but I don't think so. I think by 25 years. So, for example, you could see that example with the internet. It started back in 1992, right? By year 2002, yeah, everybody had the internet pretty much, but it was still novel. And then by 2012, right? Look, we have videos and stuff like that, and all kinds of cool stuff. And then now, right? Amazon, now everything runs off the internet. Like Amazon, Tesla, all these companies, everything runs connected. Everything has to be connected to the internet all the time. Your fridge, everything, your phones, everything, 24/7. Now imagine, right? You were able to buy a coin that represented the internet. Well, that's what Bitcoin is, right? Basically, a coin that represents, right, a token that represents the internet that's going to rise in value. It's limited in supply, right? And so, yeah, if you could have invested in the internet, you'd be rich today, right? So expect in 25 years, in 25 year time, from the date that it was incepted, we should see Bitcoin being, unless you're like a complete idiot, right? Can you imagine if somebody says, well, internet's a fad now? What if somebody said that right now? Internet's going to die away. What would you think about that idiot? What would you say?
I would just be curious, like, how would they ever get to that conclusion? Like, how would that...
No, exactly.
Where does this person come from?
Exactly. Well, we'll get to that point in approximately another 15 years for Bitcoin, right? You'll be like, if somebody says, yeah, Bitcoin's going away in 15 years, you'd be like, what? How do you can possibly come to that conclusion? All right. I think we're going to do one more question and then call it a day.
Guys, I got one question here from what could be, again, a really good moniker, if they send a message, Crypto Morpheus. But yeah, does Wimble make LTC and BTC more fungible?
Possibly. But, you know, we were talking about Schnorr signatures earlier, and so that would make it more fungible. Fungibility, what he means by that is that right now the government can point to a Bitcoin and say that's bad, and so if I get that Bitcoin, I can't sell it to anybody else because they don't want that tainted Bitcoin because the governments have marked it as bad. And so Bitcoin fungibility means, like, for example, we don't trade in chickens, right? Because one chicken might be fatter than the other chicken. This chicken might be skinny, right? And somebody goes, well, that chicken's better, so I'm gonna give it more value than the skinny chicken, right? And that is what's considered fungibility, because, you know, everything with Bitcoin, one Bitcoin is the same Bitcoin as the other Bitcoin, right? There's no difference. The same with a dollar, whether it's a digital dollar or a paper dollar, they have the exact same value, right? And they're interchangeable, and so they're fungible. And for example, let's just say you wrote down the serial numbers of every single U.S. dollar that you had, and you put it in a safe, and then somebody stole those dollars, and then you found those dollars later on, and you say those are mine, right? Because I have the serial numbers here, right? Here you go, right? The government has already ruled that the bank, like the laws have already been ruled that you can't take possession of those dollars, because then they'll be tainted. The values of those currency would be tainted if you marked the serial numbers and said that those are yours, right? No, you can't do that. If they were stolen and they're gone, and they can never be yours again. And so that's what fungibility is. Now, does it make them more fungible? Yes, of course it does, because it's an encrypted protocol that prevents you from seeing balances as well. So you won't be able to see the balance of what people have, and who sent it to where, right? But Wimble has had its problems, right? There is a way to track the money, where it's been going, right? Not the balances, but getting like 90%, like a 96 to 97% accuracy of where the money is being going to, and to which addresses. So just consider that when you're talking about Wimble. Now, with Schnorr signatures, that will drop it right off, completely off the planet. And that means that if they add Schnorr signatures with Wimble, then that would solve the problem. But that's another issue, and that's another technical thing for another day. All right. Well, thank you for all your questions. Please leave any comments or questions in this video below. That really helps the channel. Also, hit the like button. I noticed that we have 800 viewers. Not even giving me a little bit of love. Just a little bit, please. A little bit of love would go a long way. So thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Chris, I hope you enjoyed your first day in the hot seat there.
It was fun. Thanks for the patient.
All right. Cheers, people. Thanks for watching. Bye now.